So here we're going to continue with the transaction, starting with on October 14th, Meg Johnson returned merchandise. And we're going to take a look at a customer returning stuff to us, which is what Meg Johnson is doing. And then also on the 17th, we have a transaction where we're returning something to a vendor. So let's take a look in this video at doing credits and returns. And so here we have a customer returning something. So we're in the vendors and purchases screen. So always make sure you're looking at this is a customer return. I need to be in the customer window, and then I will click on credits and returns at the bottom of the screen, and this is a new credit memo. Okay, so the customer ID is Meg Johnson. Okay, and the date is the 14th. Okay, and its credit number, meaning credit memo number, CM220. Okay, now if this applies to a cash sale that they had and now they're having a return, then we would do apply to sales tab. If this applies to an invoice, then we're going to choose which invoice does it apply to. Well, 220. It even says credit memo 220. Okay, so that's what it applies to. So the description, this is from a beginning balance, so that's why it doesn't list all the stuff that's being returned. If this was perpetual inventory system, we would have a listing of every item that she had bought on account, because maybe there's only some of them that are being returned. Okay, and so we're going to put this under amount, and this is $300. Okay, you also want to make sure you click on the sales tax button. Click on that. So Meg Johnson is going to get $315 back. You can look under our journal button. We're debiting that South Carolina Department of Revenue, the sales tax payable account, for $15 because we're giving it back to Meg, so we don't owe it to the state. We're also debiting sales, and this would not be correct. We want to, this is a sales return, and so we want to make sure, this is why you want, especially on credits and returns, want to make sure that you're putting in the sales returns and allowances account to show that that's the account that's being debited. And then our accounts receivable for Meg Johnson is being credited for the whole $315. So that's good. We say okay. Okay, and then we can say save and close. Now our next transaction, we sold merchandise for cash, also on the 14th, so we go under receive money. And we have done this before, so I'll just move through that. We put in our date and cash for the deposit ticket ID. We say cash sales. Okay, 1014 cash again for the reference number. The date is the 14th. Okay, and this is flowers we sold, and that was for $39.50. Okay, we want to include sales tax, so that brings it up to the correct amount, and we can say save. Oops. Okay, GL account ID. Okay, so we needed to get it doesn't know what to credit there for the sale of the flowers. So we only have one sales account, 401. Okay, okay, save and close. All right, next one is where we return some merchandise to vases, etc. So that's a vendor, so we need to be on the vendor page. And now we're going to go to credits and returns, new credit memo. Okay, we bring up our vendor ID, this is vases, etc. And the date is 17th. Okay, and it's credit memo 1234, so CM 1234. Okay, and if we had a cash purchase and now we're making a return, we would click on apply to purchases. But since we're returning this based on a previous invoice, we're going to keep it on that tab. Click the down arrow, and of course, invoice 1234. If we had multiple invoices, then we have to check which invoice are we returning stuff on. So it does that. Now, if this was an invoice that we had done in October and we were on the perpetual inventory system, it would show each inventory item, and then we could say which ones are we returning and how many of which ones are we returning. But in this case, it was just from a beginning balance. How much is the amount that we are returning? $900 worth. And there's no sales tax related since this was a purchase on account originally. All right, and so we can click on journal and we see that we're going to debit accounts payable, and it's crediting purchases. And we don't want to credit purchases. If we have a purchase returns and allowances, we want to credit purchase returns and allowance. Okay, and we say okay, we say save and close. All right, then we have cash sales again. We go to our customers and sales, receive money from customer, and this is 1021 cash. Sales, 1021 cash. This is for the 21st. Okay, and we're in apply to revenues. Oops. Flowers, tab, and that is 3,600. Tab. We have to have sales tax, so we click on that. So our total is 3,780. We want to go to the journal, and we want to make sure that we say what sales account. Well, we only got one, is sales 401. Okay, save and close. All right. Here next we receive payment from David's Decorating. Okay, so we're still in the customers and sales. We receive money from a customer. It's not a cash sale, so we're going to go in and choose. This is David's Decorating, and he gave us check number 8675. Okay, and this is on the 24th. Okay, so now here is invoice 221, which was technically due the day before, so of course we're not going to have any discount. And we are receiving payment of $21.35. Notice that we owe more, that they owe us more than that. So I'm going to put in the account payable box the $21.35 and press enter. Okay, I can look at my journal, debiting cash, crediting the invoice. Okay, save and close. Okay, next we sold new merchandise to David's Decorating. So that is a sales invoice. David's Decorating. And that is on the 27th. And that is invoice number 224. Okay. And we're selling flowers. And that is 3,000. And we're going to put in the sales tax. We're going to check the journal. Okay, everything looks good. We say okay. And save and close. Okay. We have cash sales for $4,300. Receive money from customer. And that's on the 28th. And sold flowers. And that is $4,300. And journal, we have to put in account 401. Okay, and we need the sales tax. Okay. All right, and save and close. Finally, we issue check 194 for wages. So that's under vendors, and we can go under write checks. We're not paying a bill because we didn't have an invoice previously set up for it. Okay, there is no vendor, so we just go down to pay to the order of, and this is Don Averly. Okay, this is check number 194, and it is on the 29th. Okay, and the amount is, I didn't type amount. That is $900. Okay, the expense account. What do we want to debit? It knows it's going to credit cash, and so debit wages expense. Okay, now of course those of you who've taken payroll, we know there's payroll taxes, so we're just pretending those don't exist. So here we are, we can check our journal, debit to 601, credit to cash, so that's good. And we can save and close. Okay, so that is the last of our transactions, and at this point you would go and check and make your reports. Now we can see we're in the vendors window. It shows us our vendors. It shows how much each vendor, and so our total is $26.10. We would want to make sure, if I went into my chart of accounts, under View and Edit Accounts, that my accounts payable would equal the same amount. We also want to go to customers and sales, and here's what all the customers owe us, and we would want to make sure that that equaled View and Edit Accounts, that equals the accounts receivable there. If it doesn't, then you have a problem somewhere, and you need to find and fix it.